Yeah, let's go.
Welcome back to The Communicator. As always, Jeff Hostetler.
Chris Hartley.
And today we're going to be talking about residential security. That's something that a lot of people, they dive into before they really realize what they need to be looking for. So there's 7 different questions that you need to be able to ask when you're looking into a home security system. So we'll just go ahead and just jump right into it. Number 1 is, what kind of certifications does the company carry? By law, they need to be able to display what their certification numbers are with the state, their license numbers. Each state is different, so we certainly urge you to go through and take a look. Tennessee has a different one, Virginia has a different one. So these are things that you need to make sure that you look into for that company. It's something to be easy, that you'll be able to see that they're registered with the state, so we highly recommend that. The second are references. Now, the one piece here is that some people are a little bit nervous about letting people know what kind of system that they actually have at their home. So the security company that you're evaluating should be able to get information back from people, from their customers, and ask if they can be used as references. So we certainly want to take a look at that. Of course, when people put out stickers and yard signs, I mean, this is something that they pretty much televise who's the one that's monitoring them. But one of the things is that you definitely want to look into that. Let them speak well for the company. The third are specials. Now, we see all the time in the papers, you know, the $99 special or different areas like that. Be very wary of that in the sense that, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but make sure that it actually covers what you need. Because one thing that they may be able to do is that package that you get might not be something that will be able to take care of what you're actually looking to cover. Now, some of the things that they may be able to get is this: how much is it to add another door contact? How much is it to add an indoor siren? Those types of things, glass break. So be sure to take a look at that. What does it cost for those extras? The fourth is monitoring. This is where a lot of the organizations certainly make their money, but to be quite honest with you regarding that, and with that monitoring, they also have you look into signing a contract. Now, typically when you're looking at that, it's 24 or 36 months is usually a standard when it comes to those style contracts. So this kind of goes in with number 3, is the special. They'll offer you X amount, which would be a low amount, but then the monitoring might be very, very high. So when you're shopping around, be sure you pay attention as to what the monitoring is, how much a month, and also regarding on the monitoring is that what kind of contract are they going to have you sign for that length of time. And plus, you might want to watch and make sure there's not a hefty penalty if you're able to get out of that contract. Number 5 is, what kind of warranty does it cover? A year down the road, if you actually have a door contact that doesn't register anymore, if you have a smoke alarm, heat detection, anything that might cause or show faulty, what kind of warranty can you expect? Number 6 is, who is actually doing the monitoring? The monitoring that's behind the company that's actually selling you the system. Find out a little bit about the monitoring company. Exactly what kind of people do they have behind the monitoring stations? We see all those commercials that have people monitoring the big call centers or the big command centers, those types of things. While that's all well and good, and you can see it looks really cool on the commercials, you got to make sure and talk with these organizations and find out what kind of they have. They'll be more than happy, or should be more than happy, to give you that information and how long they've been monitoring. And number 7 are options. Now, within the residential security, there are wired options. You're also looking at, in the motion detector, they have regular motion detectors. They also have pet immune motion detectors. Now, in the pet immune, they're usually up to about 75 pounds. So when you're looking at something like that, when it really says pet immune, you might have a really big Great Dane that weighs more than 75 pounds. So this is something you got to watch. You got to certainly watch for. But something like a small child that gets up in the middle of the night is not going to trigger your alarm. So these are things that you need to ask about. With the wireless system, it's really flexible in the sense that where you want to be able to locate things. So if you have a motion sensor in one corner, but you want to move it to the middle of the room, you certainly have that capability in order to do that. But as you go through and with a security company works with you as to where to put the placements, when you lay all this out, you certainly will have a chance to get to it. And with a wireless type system, you will have that. But those are the 7 areas that you certainly need to look into. If you arm yourself with the answers to these 7, you'll certainly be more educated in making a good decision when it comes to a security system. So, you have any questions?
Actually, I got one question for concerning the monitoring. You mentioned that. Are there different types of monitoring? Say you mentioned smoke detectors, or the motion detectors, things like that. Are there different? Do you sign different monitoring contracts for different things that you're monitoring?
Actually, with a lot of the organizations, there's a base monitoring fee, and on top of that, I mentioned the wireless coverage. There's also wired in, and they have two flavors. One would be a regular phone line coming to it, and one could be as a cellular backup. So in essence, a lot of people have moved to their cell phones as their mode of home phone. So what they're doing is a cell backup that's actually built into the main unit there that can call out in the event of a break-in, so you don't have to worry about running an extra line to it. But that does carry with it a little extra. If you want to be able to do two-way conversation, so you've seen that commercial where the lady happens to fall down, hits the panic, and they're able to open up a two-way conversation. That is something that can be as an option, but it's also, you got to look because the monitoring is usually a little bit more than that. And of course, with the there's also the fire, heat. Those things can kind of stack up. So when you're evaluating those things, look and see: is it a system that you have a regular phone line coming to? Is it cellular? These are different things that you actually look at, but there are different levels of monitoring.
Excellent.
So with that, certainly hope you arm yourself with the answers to these 7. And we want to thank you. And if you have any questions, certainly give us a call.
There you go. Thank you.